Ryan Dalzell, thank you for being on the show today.
You're welcome.
We have a lot of history together.
We do.
We've known each other, what, 10 years it feels like?
All I know is you weren't shaving yet. I think it was that long ago. Puberty was just...
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it probably was 10 years.
Man.
Had to be, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
So the story is, I'm in mortgage.
Yes.
I'm going around homes doing just a flip camera, which looks almost identical to this.
Yeah.
And you're literally the first house I scope out, and I'm like, I'm going in to check out this agent.
Yeah.
And obviously I checked your numbers. You guys were doing well, so obviously I wasn't trying to waste my time with
rookies.
Right.
And
I walk in, and super nice guy, man. Ever since then, I walk in. I'm like, hey, this is a beautiful home. And I said, do you mind if we just talk a little bit?
Yeah.
On camera. And you're like, sure, yeah. We're actually we're trying to do more of that. So this is perfect. Fits in well. And I just shared that like not too long ago on social media, and it's just crazy how we were shooting videos then,
right,
and how we're shooting videos now together.
No, it's very cool to see the progression and see the growth that's happened there. Yeah. Even at the time, I mean, video was really like when you came in, I was like, wait, what are you trying to do? Like it had my guard up, like what is this? But yeah, we were starting to think of, okay, we got to start doing video. Yeah. So yeah, it was good timing.
Yeah, well, it was a great start to, long relationship here. How did you, now, before I get into how long you've been in real estate, let's talk about the group, right? So it's you, your brother, your father, your mom, and your sister at some point. Is she still involved?
She's helped out with some of the design. I mean, as we've gotten into some of the development side of what we do, we definitely pull the resources from my sister and my sister-in-law, Kevin's wife.
For sure.
But yeah, it's a definite family affair.
So talk a little bit about the if you could, the journey, right? So you have, your dad, he was working in construction at the time in South Africa, correct? And that's kind of where the real estate started to get interesting for everybody. And now it's this huge Dalzell group, or some people call it the Dazzle group. Right?
I remember. That's right.
I remember we met. You're like, a lot of you say Dazzle, and actually to this day, I hear sometimes people. I'm like, oh, it's Dalzell. You gotta get it right.
We've thought of doing an official name change, but it's just too much.
Dazzle your clients with your service.
There you go. It's too cheesy of a tagline. Couldn't do it.
No, but really. So tell me a little bit about what with your father and kind of like the progression.
Yeah, well, his background in running a construction company in South Africa before we moved here really set that foundation and it's really has come full circle as we've gotten into not just representing buyers and sellers, but also the construction side of what we do. And but when we came to the United States, 1987, he got into mortgages, actually doing mortgages, and then into real estate in '91, and he's been in it ever since. So my brother joined on in the early 2000s, and then I joined on a couple of years later, and it's been a really cool thing.
Now you're not only flying high in terms of real estate, but you also like to fly yourself, right? You were a pilot at some point?
Yeah, I was going to go the professional pilot route, fly for the airlines, and was doing all my training, going through all the ratings, and I got my CFI license in I think 2001, and actually, yeah, it was right in 2001 because 9/11 happened.
I remember you told me about that.
9/11 happened, and that absolutely changed everything for aviation. Just completely shut down all the hiring, and of course, 2001. Think of what was happening with real estate. We were just coming out of the .com, and real estate was starting to really pick up steam. And my brother and my dad were working together at that point, and my dad said, you could join us with real estate and fly on the side as a hobby, and kind of thought about raising a family and working with family, and so made the decision, let's go into real estate. The week I got my real estate license, I got a letter from the airline saying come interview, and I said ship sailed. So
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was pretty funny timing.
I did not know that specific part about it. So you could have gone back.
I could have,
Like-
yeah, I could have. But, mentally, everything else, praying about the right direction for our family, it was, I've never looked back and thought, yeah, I really should have gone with flying.
Sure.
But real estate's been great. We've really enjoyed it. Working with families been a blessing.
Right.
So
Not
can't
a
complain.
lot of people can do it.
No, we hear
make it
that a
work.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it is, working with my dad and my brother, it's never smooth all the time. We have our moments, but we've really been a cohesive, united group the whole time, and people see that, and our clients see that. And I think they think, gosh, most people buying or selling a home, other than sometimes it's an investment, but a lot of the time it's for family.
Sure.
And I think they know that we're family and that we cover for each other. If one's out of town, you've got the other one's got your back. So that's been a key part, I think, of our identity, our brand.
You guys have a good synergistic relationship between all you guys, and I know that your dad now, Jim, is now kind of doing something different. You're doing something different, and Kevin's doing something different in a sense of roles.
Roles, yeah.
But then you guys come together as a team to provide just that awesome value.
Yeah, my dad, has a lot of experience. He has a lot of credibility, and people in the industry know him. Clients, longtime clients, and everything he does, he goes 100% in, and he really cares about his clients, and he puts a lot of time and effort into that. And I've really enjoyed the marketing side of the business, and so whether it's video or TV or any of the digital media that we do, I really enjoy that part of it. And so that's kind of been my role, is take the lead on the listing marketing side. And then we've got a group of investors that we've had for over a decade, and my brother's really kind of taken the lead role on that and running the investment development side of our business. So.
That's awesome. I mean, being self-aware, you know what you want to focus on. Kevin knows what he wants to focus on, which is great. Let's talk a little bit about your progression into development, right? You guys always been doing it, so it's not like you just started. But I think for me, just watching you as a group blossom into what you guys are doing now, it seems like every week you have a new property you guys are putting on the market, like this beautiful home we're in today. Can you tell me a little bit, can you give us a little sneak peek into just kind of how you gravitated towards that way, and how, I know you've talked to me before about, this is really a strong niche, but we also sell, homes. We don't just build, we don't just develop, we sell,
we do. We have our roles, but this was really just born out of opportunity. The market, as everybody knows, took a real nosedive in 2008, but there were a lot of people, smart people that, and a few that we were fortunate enough to know that had money on the sidelines, that were looking for an opportunity to get back into the market in an investment way. And so we started small with just a few handful of people and a couple family members, and got into investing actually up in LA. Saw what people were doing in LA, and said, we can duplicate that down here. And the flip market, everybody knows, it was just booming.
Sure.
But so we jumped in and did a lot of projects in the beginning that were quick turns, and then that market got super saturated. All the mom and pops came out of the woodwork, and everyone was a flipper. And so then, because we work in this coastal market, we know it. We said, there's opportunity for older homes in the coastal area that need a significant remodel or an addition. And we started looking for those opportunities because there weren't as many people that had the resources, knew the market the way we do. And so that really opened up the coastal, more high-end market rather than the quick flips. And then that has progressed, and people came to us that owned land and said, would you be interested in buying land? And so this right here that we're in is a ground-up new construction. So, but it's all born around knowing the local market, having that in-depth knowledge. And we still want to work with buyers and sellers. Buyers love working with us because they know that we know the investment side very well. We know construction, we know remodel, and we know values.
Right.
What else would a buyer, need? And so that's a key part of it. Sellers love it because we, again, have that market knowledge. We have people know us for developing homes, and a lot of the homes we sell are very beautiful, high-end homes. That image can carry over to other sellers. So we just have a property on the other side of Crest that's an escrow, and the owner basically chose us because he said, you guys know this area and you know how to talk the language when it comes to remodeling, and which that house needed. So,
and I imagine there's tons of people or agents or developers or whatever who see the opportunity like you guys did, but maybe can't execute, right? Because they don't have all the parts that go into making something successful, right? I mean, because I wouldn't know where to start.
Right.
I know the market. I know I've been in real estate and mortgage, but I have no knowledge like you guys do. But the team, I think, is what really makes it.
It's 100% about the team, and there's so many parts of the team. I mean, you have to know the city. So you have to have a really good civil engineer. You have to know design, a really good architect. An architect that's willing to work with us because we really have a good idea of what a buyer is looking for in a floor plan. So we'll sit down with the architect and beat up the floor plan. And so it takes the right type of person to be humble enough to take our feedback and then put together a great plan.
He's a local guy, right?
He's a local guy, yeah.
I think I met him
Derek,
a few times.
So, there are a lot of, there's a lot that goes into it, the investor relations side of it, and just communicating with clients. But we have an amazing group of clients that trust us with some big dollars, and know that we invest alongside them. So everything that we do, we put our money where our mouth is.
Right. You're talking about team. You have your team too. Your family at home.
Yeah.
Right. So beautiful wife, beautiful kids.
Yeah.
Tell us about your family.
I'm totally blessed. I have an amazing wife, and it'll be 20 years in January.
Wow.
So yeah, we're coming up on 20
married.
Years.
How long together?
20 years married, and we knew each other for 18 months or 2 years before that.
Crazy.
3 kids. Got a teenager now, which is a little scary.
He's a monster. He's still
about to.
big.
He's tall. Yeah, he's about to go into high school. So
I remember meeting him when he was a little guy.
We're going into a new phase. I know you got videos you shot for us of him probably at 5 years old. So
how's that like? So obviously, as a realtor, you have your challenges, your fair challenges, but it looks like you guys have a really good team at home as well, between you and your wife, your kids. That's what drives me. It's providing for family, and trying to get that work home life balance. And that's tough with real estate, especially. You always feel like you have to be on call. And I really pride myself on having good service, but I've learned, I've made some mistakes where the home life, sometimes I got to put the cell phone down, and I've got to have boundaries. Right. And but this is, again, working with family. We can go away. We're fortunate and blessed to be able to take family vacations and different things. I know I've got coverage with my dad and my brother when I'm out. So, but yeah, it's real estate can be all consuming if you're not. So someone who's watching or listening, maybe they're a realtor. How have you found a balance? Or maybe it's something you have to find every day. Maybe it's a balance you have to find and discover every day. Do I put my phone down because I'm listening to my kid talk to me about their day? Or,
right.
Do you have any advice on that?
Yeah, some of this is just even recent lessons learned. My wife and I have talked about it, and I need to put her first above my career. She is my first priority, and my kids follow after that. Right. And so, when she calls and it's during the work day, like I've got to, you know what, it can, honestly, it can wait. Sure. And I think clients appreciate that. And I've got some clients in particular that will be like ultra concerned about, gosh, sorry to bother you on the weekend. And I go, no, I understand. That's part of the job.
Sure.
But and they're very protective of family time. And that's cool. I appreciate that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And what about, you're talking about passion, your passion, what fuels kind of your passion is your family and providing whatnot. What about specifically in real estate? Is there anything that really, brings that passion alive in you?
I love the process of helping people. And this is why a lot of times in real estate, when you get to a certain level of success, a lot of people will gravitate to be listing agents only. Buyers are a lot of work. You may show them 10 homes, you may show them 100 homes, you may be working with buyers for years. A lot of agents, they just, they not quite want to do that. But I love it. And people will say, gosh, you're selling $10, $13 million properties. Are you sure you want to work with a condo buyer? And I go, yeah, because I was a first-time buyer. Right. I remember what that's like. And, we work with referrals. We work with primarily. And so if somebody is going to trust me with a referral, why wouldn't I invest some time with that person? So
I'm sure it's also refreshing going, selling a condo, then turn around selling a $13 million property in Rancho Santa Fe or something like that. Right.
It is. No, again, it keeps you grounded, and you never know, that condo buyer, someday, one day starts an IPO on a startup, and everyone starts somewhere.
Right. I think I heard you say something like, it's not necessarily the price that you operate within. It's about the service.
Yeah.
It's about delivering that level of service. What would you say in terms of like your specific interest in real estate? So you mentioned marketing and video and all that. So you're obviously good at that. Is there anything within marketing that you're like, hey, I'd love to dive in a little bit more in that?
I think it's, the social media side of it, video is clearly the trend's moving more and more that way. People are on their cell phones more than they are on a desktop these days. So I think anything that gets you in front of people, but gets the product that you're selling. And this is where I love, whether it's educating about the neighborhood, whether it's telling about a process of development or construction, or highlighting, what's cool about a property. Because we know the design and development side of it, every property I go into, I'm taking pictures of stuff I see and be like, that's awesome. What a cool idea, design, or a piece of furniture. It doesn't matter. Like, that's what kind of gets me excited is I love seeing, and we still do remodels. So you go in and you see an old dog that needs new life, and your wheels start turning, and you go, I know what we can do here. That's cool. And when I'm working with buyers, I'll do the same thing. We're walking through the house and be like, if I know that they're up for some feedback or some input, like, hey, there's some really cool things you could do here, and I wouldn't break the bank.
Nice. Getting creative.
Yeah. The creative side of it, the creating or taking a home to another level. That's always really inspiring.
Now, is there anything that you've learned over the last, years of you working in real estate that really have opened your eyes to like, hey, this is now, we're dealing in a new environment that's way different than when I first started. And if so, what is that, and how are you kind of dealing with that if there's challenges?
I think that the big thing to me is once the market took that huge correction, I think everybody that lived through that, experienced it, good or bad, it changed people's perspective on, the quick money, the easy money days are gone. And I hope that never changes for people. I think people are cautious and more cautious than they were before, and that's healthy. People saving a little bit more, making decisions that go a little bit farther than the next 6 months or a year, that are looking out 5 or 10 years. So it's value is the big word. I think everybody wants to know that they're buying something of value or that might increase in value. And so when we're developing, we're always, of course, with the eye of increasing value and protecting your exit strategies, you know, and we always talk about exit strategies. So I think that in the market, if you ask how has real estate changed, I think people, the properties that sell, the properties that people appreciate the quality, the location, the lifestyle, the view, all of these things go into what people see as value, or property that, you know, has all of those things but maybe isn't in great condition, but that's where the opportunity lies. So
that's where you come in.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is there anything right now that, you know, that you're dealing with that may be challenging, and within, maybe it's legislation or maybe it's not, maybe it's like you said, the city, if you're trying to get something, you know, done, what's kind of like, what are your biggest pains right now?
It's different for the different disciplines. You know, on the development side, it is the city, it is the legislation, the regulations. The cities are making it harder and harder, unfortunately. And also, I think as the economy's doing very well, a lot of public employees have now left the city to go to private because they can sometimes do better there.
Sure.
And so you've got short-staffed cities, and so all the more critical to know how to navigate, you know, the bureaucracy of that. But I think in the residential space, it's just the competition. I mean, real estate is so competitive.
For sure.
And I wish there was a higher hurdle to being a realtor, higher barrier to entry, because, you know, we see a lot of properties out there and a lot of listings that you just kind of shake your head and go, gosh, does the seller have any idea what their property looks like online? You know, and so it's I think, you know, that's where when the market takes a downturn, there's a healthy weeding out of some of the lower quality agents, and not meaning to knock anybody, but you know, we're always looking to step up our game. You've done it with video from the first to now, and being creative. And so if you have that mindset, you're a good agent, you're doing a good job for your client. But there's agents that just, you know, stick it in the MLS and that's it.
So the competition is
competition.
Is fierce.
Yeah.
And then how are you guys kind of
differentiating? You know, I mean, I think people, we have the reputation, we have the branding, we are doing creative things where, you know, I get ribbed by my friends who, oh, Mr. TV guy, you know, I see you all the time on TV, and I go, well, you know, I'm not doing it because, you know, I think I'm a good-looking guy or anything, but I just, it's a creative way to make a difference with the homes that we're selling, whether they're our homes or our clients' homes. We're always trying to do something to stand out, right? Because it's going to help the client in the long run.
100%. So it's almost like you have your years planned out, your months, and then every week and so forth, you kind of adjusting, pivoting, doing something creative. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Correct in saying that?
No, and networking. You know, we've in the last year and a half done more out-of-state business, referring out and getting referrals in Chicago, Seattle, Bay Area.
Wow.
I mean, all across the country, not just California. And that's from the seeds that have been planted of top agents in top markets. We know the feeder markets. We know where people are coming from to San Diego, and more people are, especially at the higher end.
Right.
And so we've made it's kind of fun. It's like fishing, you know, to see where is that business outside of the San Diego radius. Where's that going to come from? And so, and I love it. I mean, I get to learn about new markets. I get to meet new agents. I'm going to be in Vancouver, Canada, nice. You know, at a big conference, and meeting new agents and getting introductions of the agents that know me, and that's fun. You know,
and that's what you were. Sorry, go ahead.
No, just having a national and a global presence is something that you don't get overnight.
Right.
But that comes through a network.
That's cool. I know we had talked before about that's what you were trying to create videos to send out, right? So like your team video, your agent story videos,
right?
You're using that to kind of communicate who you are to them before you meet them. How are you doing that?
Yeah, it's again through social media. We'll send those out. And it's before a listing appointment or even a buyer that we meet, we'll send out a video. There's one that you did for us that kind of highlighted how sort of the San Diego property brothers, where I work on the listing buyer side, my brother on the development. People have seen that video and it introduces them before we even meet. And more I'll say, I'll have people say, gosh, yeah, I saw your videos and it's a really nice warm introduction, but it's a chance to get the story across, and the story is how we can help in a way that's different.
Sure. Oh. And we're talking video. How are you currently using video?
So it's whether it's certainly property videos. I think the story, trying to tell a story using it that way. And testimonials, market updates. It's everything from the quick, selfie videos to something that's more produced. But I need to do more, honestly, because you get busy, and then it's a matter of scheduling that time in to do it. But I think I know it is a medium that people really enjoy, and it's easier to watch something than it is to read.
For sure. Worst case scenario, you're listening to it while you're doing something too.
Sure.
So we've done so many videos together, from the videos that when I walked in and did flip camera to we've done several videos out in Carmel Valley. We've done a lot of videos, obviously, all over San Diego. I'm trying to think of properties, obviously, community videos, agent stories, educational videos. Am I missing anything?
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
I feel like they're close to like 100 videos probably by now.
It's gotta be something like that. Yeah.
Are you noticing a trend in any direction regarding video?
For us, it's, I think, the attention span for some people. Every once in a while we'll do a long one if there's a really, big property that's got a really unique story to it. But I know my attention span. Sure. We're all busy, and so the trend I just like the quick hit videos. The minute, 2 minute, show me the highlight of the property, show me the highlight of the story, whatever it is, and tease them. If they want more information, then obviously they know where they can get in touch with us.
Yeah, it's a great point. I mean, that's exactly why we do that. It's just like getting them a trailer, teaser, and then the main, and potentially longer depending on the size of the property. So different platforms, different lengths of different platforms to pull them in. No, I totally agree with you. Is there anything within video itself? Like, are you experiencing any pains within video that you're besides where I think you want to take it? Do you say the cost?
Oh, well, yeah. You bring that up. Let's do some negotiating right now.
Well, like I said, there's definitely, I agree with you. I mean, having a produced video isn't always the case. Like, you don't always have to go that route.
Right.
It could be a variety of, within the spectrum, right? So you have hey, I picked up my phone and here's a quick video, to here's I'm spending a couple of days at this property with the full crew to get it done. So any pains that you're experiencing?
No, look, I mean, I think as everybody's gotten busier and busier, it gets a little more pricey to do video.
Especially if you're taking in a lot of inventory and you're trying to do video for all of them, for sure.
Yeah, and I think it's trying to just, I don't know if it's a pain, but the challenge is how to keep it fresh. And so you don't feel like you're doing the same thing that you've always done. And this is our first podcast. Yeah. So, all right, let's do it. Nice. I love that you're coming up with a different twist on getting the message out. So I think that's, if that's a pain, it's an easy pain, right? Sure. It's just
being creative again.
And having a good team and somebody like you that says, hey, let's do this. Cool. I'm always up for anything that is gonna grow the business, is gonna expand and help people understand our market better, or how we can help.
So you talked about, I gotta do more videos. So what does that look like? Like, what are you envisioning? Like, if I would be really proud of myself if I did a video a week because I'm at a property and I'm just gonna pick up my phone and just take a quick clip, or what does that look like for you?
Yeah, I think it's I'm so tunnel vision a lot of the times during my day, and I'm going from one appointment to another, and I need to stop and almost like give the buyer or whoever it is that's potentially watching a video, a glimpse into what's going through my mind, what's going through, how does my day look? Because we talk all the time about the market, about where the market's heading, about little trends that we see as a family group. We're talking daily about this. And if I could just have the camera on for that, little quick minute or two, I think people would be really interested to hear that, because it's not that we have all the answers, but sometimes bouncing ideas back and forth. We were on the call with a mortgage lender the other day, kind of talking about trends and talking about where the market's headed. And you're pulling in these resources, and I just want to educate people. I want, because you hear so much misinformation about the market and scare tactics and everything. I think that's the challenge of how do I, in a succinct way, educate somebody, keep it interesting, keep it fun, and do that on a consistent basis. That's tough to do because we get very focused on what we're doing.
There's no magic pill you can take to make that happen.
That'd be nice.
I mean, it's actually a challenge that I think any business owner experiences. I mean, I need to do that more, even though I film all the time. One way we're doing that is podcasts, obviously, and different series that we're creating, but it's not something that, it's something relatively new where society is expecting you to communicate your message consistently all the time via a video. And that's challenging because we're not, even though we're so attached to the phone, it's not like, okay, here's an automatic, notification, okay, gotta record now. And then it's almost like there's so many things that can potentially postpone that.
Yeah, and it takes time to do it well. I think that's the other thing, right? Is you can have a jumpy video but I don't want to put that out. I don't want to. You have standards, and so editing and just everything. It takes time. So to do it right.
I agree. I mean, I think for me, my commitment to myself and our company is like, hey, I need to do more of these just raw stuff. I mean, just raw video where I'm just talking, because it's not so much about a production I'm putting out there, it's about communication. And if I'm not doing it, then I'm not communicating.
Communicating and keeping authentic. I mean, I actually, we haven't done as many of these interview style, and I did one recently as an interview style video, and it's cool because you can be yourself. It's not scripted. You're not selling really. You're just having a conversation.
Well, you're good on camera, so it makes it easier to film. Makes it easier to edit, all that stuff. Let's talk about where you see yourself going. What's happening for you the next, let's say, 5 years? Where do you see yourself? Where do you potentially see the group going? Yeah,
I think my dad is gonna. He's 75. He's so for him, I think my brother and I are encouraging him that, hey, you've earned it. Take a little bit of time off. So I mean, some of this is how do we in the next 5 years? How do my brother and I work together? We've got our roles, and I don't think those will change. So just that family dynamic.
So you're gonna go take care of the grandkids now?
Yeah, I think I'll have my mom help with that.
Joe to the rescue.
And so the market will in some ways have some say in it, because the investment side of what we do, it's going to have cycles. But we still see a lot of really positive things ahead for the San Diego coastal market. Like I said, we've been seeing a lot of people coming in from out of state. And I think if that continues, which we think it will, the development side will continue. And we've got all sorts of things that we're working on. And so I think it's just growing growing both sides of the business, but not outgrowing, you know, our abilities and still having balance. So I think the more and more we want to be working by referral, because, you know, we're at a point where we're lucky enough to be a little bit selective, and we want to work with the right people, the right properties, and be, you know, make sure we're giving 100% to everybody that we do work with and not getting spread thin. So that's, you know, the goal as we grow is sustainable growth with our business.
Sure. And you get up every morning, get ready to go to work, take care of your kids, your wife, your family. What inspires you? What helps you create that mindset for your day?
You know, I start my day, I'm a man of faith, and my Christian faith is important to me, and so I want to treat everybody with integrity. I want to, you know, I want to love well. I want to serve, have a servant's heart. So that drives me. I'm on a board of a nonprofit that is a health clinic that helps women that are facing unplanned pregnancies. That's been sort of a new thing in the last couple of years.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, it's really, and just knowing the people that work there, and the work that they're doing is awesome. And so, you know, I'm motivated by being able to give back and to make a difference and leave a legacy. So there's a lot of things that drive me and motivate me, but family, faith, and being able to do more than just bring home a paycheck, because that's temporary and that doesn't last. But work on things that are eternal, that really stand the test of time.
Nice.
So.
And that's what really helps you get that mindset for the day.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And how is would you say your family? You know, your kids are getting older now and getting into new stages. How do you see that kind of evolve for you? Are you going to be a coach now? Are you gonna?
I've coached the kids sports. It's funny as they get older though, and they get farther up in the
like
the
now you stay home.
No, the stakes get higher on the coaching side. I've kind of bowed out because I don't want the crazy parents that are trying to get their kids scholarships and all that. But I really enjoy, you know, whether it's baseball, volleyball, you know, whatever my kids are doing. I love seeing them grow and learn and succeed. And like I said, my oldest Sean is going into high school, and I was in high school midway through high school when I came to this country. I went to Torrey Pines, and I know what that's like. You know, I mean, that's such a formative time. So I mean, I want to guide him as a dad and be there enough to spend time, you know, as he's figuring out those things of life that it gets crazy, right?
For sure.
So it's providing is not just financially, it's more so, it's emotionally, spiritually, really setting the course for them and being available.
Nice.
So.
Are there any books you're currently reading that you would recommend?
You know, I read the Bible,
Cool.
and
what about your top 3 maybe?
Well, yeah, and other than that, I do a lot on the iPad, and I'm kind of a news junkie. Okay. So whether it's articles about, it could be real estate, it could be politically, it could be, I just love taking in information that way. One of the fun books I read in the last year was Capital Gains, Chip Gaines. So obviously with the development, renovation stuff that we do, I was fascinated by him, and I just love, that guy's awesome. And his personality, and just seeing my wife and I and the kids, we just went to Dallas, and we went down to Waco and saw Magnolia and saw the industry that he has created. Wow. I mean, all the people working there, and it's incredible, you know, what that came out of, and that came out of them as people and their personality and their just, you know, their initiative, their drive, what they created. And so his book was awesome. That was definitely a good read.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. You don't know how much you guys, your whole family means to me. My family,
Yeah.
you guys are a big part of where I'm at today.
You've been like family, and it's pretty cool seeing where you've come from and being a part of, every step along the way. And it's not over, right?
No, not at all. A lot of people don't know, but yeah, I would stay at your parents' house from time to time when I would
Just getting started.
Yeah, commute down here, and had no family here, and you guys were like first family for sure.
Yeah,
So I appreciate that.
of course.
Yeah. Thank you for being on the podcast.
All right.
And much more success to you and the family.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks again for being
It
here.
was a pleasure.